everyone. Today I'm just going to, we recently bought the Dark World structure deck, so I'm just going to be opening that on camera and posting it to the YouTube channel. Let's just get straight into this. I was opening it from the bottom because it's really annoying if you try and open it from the top, so hope my camera focuses well. Here we are, and the lovely map. I mean, mat, not map. Don't want to get into flu territory. Dark World structure deck with I think that's the new boss monster. Wait, no, that's the old dragon one, I think. I'm not entirely sure actually. Let's see what's on the back. Ads. This combos in the deck. Oh, one of these have to be the new boss monster, so let's rip it on open. Here we go. So, start off, got Rainbow, Overking of Dark World. You can see that there, little focus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of the two new boss monsters that came out. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's one of the two new boss monsters that came out. Its summoning condition is very similar to the summoning condition of the Dragon Dark World card that I don't remember the name of. So you can special summon it from grave by returning a level 7 or lower Dark World monster to the hand. It's an easy way to summon. Got 3k attack, 18 defense. It's a way to constantly reuse your Dark Worlds that you've already used up if they got onto the field somehow. And if it's discarded to grave by card effect, you can add a level 5 or higher Dark World from deck to hand. So, searches. Love searches. Except you can't search itself with its effect, but any other level 5 or higher Dark World. And if it was discarded by your opponent's effect, you can special any level 4 or lower Dark World from deck. So, a thing you could do is play a card that forces your opponent to discard some of your cards, summon a level 4, tribute summon a level 5 guy, or use that level 4 guy to discard your level 5 guy and get their effects. A lot of things really, but it's not often your opponent's going to be discarding the cards. You're going to have to try and force them to discard. So I'll put that here. Dark World Puppetry is the next one. Quick play spell card. You can see, I believe that's Snow. Yeah, I believe that. Not Snow, it's. Is that Snow or Pearl or. Just double check. Yeah, I believe that's Snow. Let me just double check its name here. Yeah, I can't find Snow in here, but it'll up here. I believe that's Snow and Raiko, the Lightsworn dog. Get the actual name for it, but so its effect is you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyards, banish them. So it's a DD Crow, but not a hand trap, but better. Then discard a fiend monster. So in archetype DD Crow, which procs your effects. And during the main phase, except the turn this card is sent to grave, you can banish it to add any banished fiend to hand. Another way of recycling your Dark Worlds, albeit a slow way. So you can always activate this, banish this, and 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard. Next turn, banish this, add this back to your hand. That's Dark World Puppetry. I'm going to be honest, it's not my favourite. I'd probably have it in the side against decks that really like the grave. For example, Tear. Yeah, I guess it's alright in this format. Next is Dark World Archives. It's a continuous spell. Let's see if I can continuous spell, which once per turn during your main phase you can discard a Dark World monster to have all your Dark World monsters gain attack equal to the level times 100. So, sure, it buffs your attacks, but it's not that attack buff effect probably won't come into play much unless your rainbow is staring down blue eyes or something. It's not really going to come into play, the attack gain effect. But lets you discard cards, that's always a good thing. But another thing, the better effect of this is for until the end of this turn, if a monster whose original type is Fiend is discarded from your hand to the grave by the effect of a Dark World card or an opponent's card effect, even during the damage step, you can discard one card, then draw 2 cards. So, Mini Graceful Charity. Mini Graceful Charity isn't bad, especially when it's reusable. Of course, it's a hard once per turn, so if you've got 3 out, you can only activate 1. Next up is the Fusion guy, the big Fusion boss monster. Here he is. Grapha Dragon Overlord of Dark World. So it's the retrain of the Grapha regular Dragon of Dark World, I believe. Just like how Rainbow is a retrain of regular Rainbow. So this requires a Grapha Dragon Lord of Dark World plus 1 Dark Monster. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realise it needed Grapha Dragon Lord of Dark World. I thought it was just any Dark World, so I'll have to remember that next time I play, because I've already opened a box of this before and had like a fun duel with my friend where it was just 1 copy of the structure deck against his 1 copy of what was it called? The Crystal Beast structure deck. Easy to say who won. This structure deck is, out of the box, much better, and probably just much better in general. I mean, I love Crystal Beast, but just power level wise, this is currently better. So, this card, it requires Grapha and a Dark, and when your opponent activates a monster effect, a normal spell trap effect, while you have cards in your hand, quick effect, activate this effect. The activates this effect becomes your opponent discards 1 card. So it's sort of like a negation to normal spell traps and monster effects. It's a shame you can't do quick play spells, or even the activated effects of continuous spells and traps. But it's still a very good thing. It's a negate that lets you basically plus, depending on what you've got in your hand, of course. That effect is a hard once per turn, so you can, if you've got multiple out, you can only activate 1 of that. And if this Fusion Summon card in its owner's control, so this card that I've Fusion Summoned, not like cheated out deck with Waking the Dragon or Reborn from Grave, if it leaves the field because of my opponent's card, I can special summon the Grapha Dragon Lord of Dark World, so the thing it needs to Fusion Summon it. So, good effect. It special summons it from Banish or Grave, so where it would have gone if you used it to Fusion Summon it. And then both players discard a card. Very good card, I like it. Next up is Dark World Ascension. This is a quick play spell card, and it has to be one of my favourite cards in the deck. 1, the art's cool. 2, it's a quick play spell, and you'll find out why I like how it's a quick play spell soon. Because it fusion summons. The only problem is it doesn't have fusion in the name, so it cannot be searched with cards such as Dragon Keeper of Secrets, I think that's what it was called. Things that search fusion spells. You can't search it with this. Like, you wouldn't be able to use Verify on it. But then again, this is a quick play, and a lot of these cards that search fusions only do normal spells and traps. Oh, not traps, there's no fusion traps that can search, it's only normal spells. So during the main phase, it's a quick place, a quick effect. Fusion a fiend fusion monster, so not just Dark Worlds, just any fiend, which means it probably could be used splashable. And to top it all off, you do it by banishing materials from your field or grave. So it's like a Dragon's Mirror or a Magicalized Fusion for fiend monsters, but a quick play version of that. So it's about time they got these. But if you're fusion summoning a Dark World, like this card, you can also discard cards, discard monsters as material. If you can see how it specifies discard, so you can proc your Dark World effects. So very good, like it a lot. It is a hard once per turn, but it's also got recovery. During the main phase, if it's in grave, you can add it to your hand and then discard a Dark World monster. So all around, real good card. Probably one of my favourites in this structure deck. Then there's Genta, Gateman of Dark World. Just all around good. You can only special summon this card once per turn. It's going to be relevant for later. You can discard this card to add the Gates of Dark World from deck to hand. I'll bring out Gates of Dark World just to show you what it is. Where is it? Is it not it? Oh, also, this is Snow, this is Grapha. So, Gates of Dark World. It's the field spell. Very good field spell at that. So, it is, once per turn, banish a fiend from grave, Genta. It's because Genta sets it up all by himself. Discard it, grab this to hand, activate effect, banish this, draw a card, discard a fiend monster. Well, no. Yeah, you banish it, discard a fiend, then draw a card. Got it the wrong way around. And it also makes all fiend monsters gain 300 attack and defense. So all around, very good. This not only lets you discard it to add it to your hand, but will also, when it's banished, you can special summon it. Of course, when it's banished by the control of Dark World's card, Gates of Dark World, you can special summon it. So the thing is, do this, banish, discard a guy, because you control Gate World, Dark World, special summon it. So it's really good. I very much like it. Next up is Parl, Hermit of Dark World. 1 second. Parl, Hermit of Dark World. Yeah, there we go. Like all of these Dark World cards, it's got a discard effect. So when if it's discarded, you can target a Dark World in your grave, except itself, to special summon it to either field. Then, if it's discarded by an opponent's effect, you can special summon to either field a fiend monster that's banished or in grave. So if it's discarded by an opponent's card, it's a double monster reborn. If it's discarded by its own card, it's just by our effect, it's a singular monster reborn. Good, but you need setup. Dark World Punishment, the archetypal counter trap. So, when a monster would be normal or specialed, you can negate the summon. And if you do, destroy it. Then discard a fiend. And if a Dark World you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card instead. So, very good. It's hard ones per turn on each effect, so you can use both in one turn if you wish. It just stops a summon. Stops a summon, discards a card, lets you do stuff from that. Good. I mean, it's no Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, or any of the Solemn Brigade, but it doesn't cost life points, and it lets you discard cards if you wish, for effect and not cost. Here is Rainbow Overlord of Dark World. So this is what this is the upgraded version of this card. And if it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, special it. And if summoned this way, destroy all monsters or spell traps your opponent controls. One second, let me just turn on the lights. Probably not. Oh, never mind. Forgot that my lights were broken. So, overall, not my favourite, because it has to be by my opponent's card. So, this is one of my least favourite of the boss monsters of this archetype, but hey, it's there. And we've got ways of proccing it in archetype, but you know. Now next is Lucient, Netherlord of Dark World. If this card is discarded by card effect, special summon it. So if you used any of these cards effect, discard it, summon it. There's a lot of cards that do this here. It's very good. And if it's discarded from your hand to the grave by an opponent's effect, special another fiend from your deck to either field. Very good. I like it. Next is Latinum, Exarch of Dark World. Its effect is if it's discarded by card effect. If it was discarded from your hand to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, target fiend on the field. Special this card, so then that target gains 500. I'm confused on this card because of how it's worded. I'm pretty sure that when it's discarded by your card effect, you can still summon it, and it just gets the buff if it's by your opponent's card effect, but its wording is weird, and its buffing ability is not that great, so not my favourite, I'm going to be honest. Now here's Gold Woolord of Dark World. And if it's discarded by card effect, this is another one that's very annoying. I don't like the way it's worded. If this card is discarded to your graveyard by a card effect, if it was discarded from your hand to your grave by an opponent's card effect, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, special summon this card, then destroy those targets if any. Again, I think it specials no matter what, but only destroys if by opponent's card, but the wording is weird and I'm not entirely sure. This is Silver Warlord. I like this card better than Gold just because how it's worded. If this is discarded to grave by card effect, special summon this card. Then, if it was discarded from hand to grave by an opponent's card effect, your opponent places 2 cards from their hand to the bottom of the deck, but in any order. I like it. Good effect. Just all around good. Next is Ron, Mad King of Dark World. I like him just because he's a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX character and tried to kill and successfully killed all of Jaden's friends. Spoilers, by the way. So, I only liked him because he just killed everyone and it was sort of weird. Super Polyman. So, his effect is pretty mediocre. He's got an alright stat line, and when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can discard 1 card. It's on a really, there's cards that just do this better. For example, another card that we'll get to, Fabled Raven, because this one has to inflict battle damage. This one, if it made your opponent make you discard a card somehow, it would have been better, but still, no, not good. Well, I'm gonna cut it when I make this deck. Next is Beige, Vanguard of Dark World. Good card, I like it. Simple effect, if it's discarded to grave by card effect, special summon it. So, to grave, special. Bro, Huntsman of Dark World, one of the best Dark World cards, in my opinion, because it's simple. If this is discarded to grave by card effect, draw a card, or if it was discarded from your hand to grave by an opponent's card effect, draw 2. So it's either an upstart goblin or a pot of greed. Next is Scar, Scout of Darkworld. Don't like it. Because you need to have it destroyed by battle for it to do anything. And when it's destroyed by battle and sent to grave, you add a level 4 or lower Darkworld monster from deck to hand. Not my favourite, I have to say. Next is Kaki, Gorilla of Darkworld, and if it's discarded by card effect, pop a monster. Yeah, it's alright. Green, same thing, but for spell traps. Ceruli, Guru of Darkworld. Now this is one of the ways you can get your opponent to force you to discard your own cards. I like it, but it might not be played in every deck. So if it's discarded by card effect, special summon it to your opponent's field and defense position. And if it's special summoned by the effect of a Darkworld card, such as itself, your opponent discards a card. Simple, you can either special summon it to your field for hand rip effects, or special summon it to your own opponent's field to proc your when discarded by opponent's cards. Sadly, summoning it to your field won't be very good because of tears. A lot of these cards like discarding your opponent's cards, which isn't great because tears exist and they like being sent to grave anyway. Next is, though, just the best Darkworld card, Zur, Knight of Darkworld. Did you know that the name of this illustrious knight is known by all residents of Darkworld? He never oppresses the commoners. He is. If you bring him out, you just win, man. Yeah, he's just great. He's just a vanilla level 4 guy, though. Next is Renge, Gatekeeper of Darkworld. The other one of my other favourite Darkworlds. His renowned athletic physique has made him famous with the populace of Darkworld. They call him Iron Wall Renge because no one can break through his invincible defences. I like it. Next up, so that's all the Darkworld monsters we'll be looking at right now. Next we'll be going into just generic monsters, starting off with the dangers, the structure deck comes with 4. I like them all. So first is Danger Bigfoot, probably one of the worst ones despite having the best stats. It's a level 8. Like all dangers, I'm not going to be saying this for the other 4, for the other 3, but I'll say it here. You reveal in your hand, your opponent randomly chooses 1 card, discard it, and then if it wasn't Danger Bigfoot, summon it. Summon Danger Bigfoot. And if you do draw a card, so it just sort of cycles cards in your deck, while giving you materials on field. And if this card is discarded, for example by its own effects or a Darkworld effect, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Of course, the second effect is a hard once per turn, but the first one is not. Next up is Thunderbird. It has the same danger stuff with reveal it, opponent discards a card. But its when discarded effect is destroy a set card. Mothman's when discarded effect is both players draw a card, then discard a card. Tsushinoko's, in my opinion, Mothman and Tsushinoko are the 2 better ones. When Tsushinoko is discarded, just special it. So if you activate Tsushinoko's effect, it's going to be special summon no matter what. The only thing that changes will be whether you draw a card for special summoning it or not, or if you discard a different card. Next up is just generic good stuffs. Starting with Lilith, Lady of Lament. So you might notice that it's got 2000 attack, that's not the reason we're playing it, even though that is some good stat lines, because when it's normal summoned, its attack becomes 1000. And quick effect, you can tribute a dark, such as itself or any dark world, to reveal 3 normal traps in deck. Opponent chooses one tap. Opponent randomly chooses one to set and shuffle the rest in the deck. And it's a hard once per turn. So it's good if you're just playing a single copy of the structure deck, but unless you've got trap cards you really want in your set to your field, not the biggest fan, honestly. Now, here's Fabled Raven. I said about it earlier when we were talking about, where is it? When we were talking about Bron, I said that the Fabled Raven is just a better version of Bron, because it just almost unconditionally, when it's on the field, discard any number of cards, and if you do it, gains a level and 400 attack for each discarded card until the end of the turn. So it lets you discard more cards than Bron. It lets you do it without having to enter your battle phase. It gains a bunch of stats. It's a tuner for synchro plays once you get synchros into this deck. Yeah, just all around good. The only problem with it is it's not a dark type. So I'll just put this here. Next is Absolute King Backjack. Just all around a very good card. So during your opponent's turn, quick effect, banish it from grave, excavate the top card of the deck, and if it's a trap, set it to your field. Otherwise, just send it to grave. Might not be the greatest in this deck, but is still very good. And that set card can be activated this turn, so very good in trap heavy decks as well. And if it's set to grave, for example, when being discarded, you can look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and rearrange their order. Each effect is a hard once per turn, but just good in trap heavy decks, or decks that want you to send cards from your deck to grave. Yeah, just all around pretty good card. Probably not going to be playing it because I'm not playing a lot of traps in my build when I build it. Next up is Dark World Dealing. Great card, I love it. Each player draws a card, then discards a card. Very simple. Same effect as Mothman basically. Lets you proc your Dark Worlds, lets you proc your Dangers, lets you get more cards in your hand in case you're bricking. It's all around good. Next up is Charge into a Dark World. So these are the Dark World spells. Target a level 4 or lower Fiend monster in your grave, so none of your big boss guys. Special it, then discard a Fiend. And it's got a hard once per turn. So it's a monster reborn with more conditions, basically. But the discard effect might let you procure Dark World abilities. Though it's not like we're short on abilities that let you discard cards, I'm gonna be honest. Next up is Gateway into Dark World. I don't like it. It is a quick play spell card that's just target a Dark World and grave, special summon it. So just any of your Dark Worlds. But you cannot special summon the monsters the turn you activate this card, except by this card's effect. Just can't summon monsters. So the only use for it is during your opponent's field to summon one of your guys, and even then, I'd rather just use effects that let me discard a whole bunch of cards and then reborn them using effects such as, where is it? Not Lucient, Parl. I'd rather just use Parl, just discard Parl using like a quick play, something like Punishment, just to get the abilities off. So I'm going to be cutting this when I build the deck. Next is Dark World Lightning. Target a set card on field, destroy it, then discard a card. Yeah, pretty good. That's all I got to say about it. It just pops a set card. I'm probably going to cut it because it's not really my thing, but Depends really what your meta is at your locals, really, if you're going to play it or not. If there's a lot of guys that love setting cards, play it. If there's not, don't. I mean, tears happening, so usually no. Next up is Drag Down into the Grave. Great card. Love it. It's not a Dark World card, so we've stopped. We've got 2 spells that aren't Dark Worlds in the structure deck. It's great because you can set any cards you don't want discarded, activate this card, then you may only have, like, say, Brow and Phage in your hand, bunch of set back row, activate this, get your opponent's hand knowledge, then they have to discard these 2 cards, special summoning Phage and drawing 2 from that Brow, because your opponent's making you discard a card. Wait. Never mind. Your opponent, you only draw 1 because your opponent's not making you discard the card. They do get to choose though. So either you get to special a guy or draw a card. Then you draw another card because of Drag Down into the Grave. Both players do. Might not be the greatest against Tier, but you can always just hit like their Field Spell or Scream or just any of those other non-monsters that Tier has. Next up is another cool consistency card I love, Card Destruction. Both players discard the entire hand, draw cards until they then draw cards equal to the number they discarded. Great, except against things like Tier, but it does let you proc all your Dark Worlds. Next is the Forces of Darkness. Target 2 Dark Worlds in Grave, add them to hand. Just better when it gets a bit more grindy. Personally, not my favourite. Though it does let you reset your Dark Worlds that you want to use the discard effects like Brow and things, so if it was a spell card I'd probably be playing it, but since it's a trap I'm not entirely sure. Next is Dark World Brainwashing. Another one with, I believe that's Grapha, Dragon Lord of Dark World, and Raikou, the Twilight Sworn Hunter. This is as he's being brainwashed from being the Light Sworn to the Twilight Sworn. So there's a little storyline going on in here. It's very simple. It's a continuous trap. When your opponent activates a monster effect and you have 3 or more cards in hand, which is a bit restrictive because you're often going to be discarding your entire hand. And it's also accepted during the damage step. Target a Dark World on the field, return it to hand, and in fact, the opponent's monster's activate effect becomes your opponent randomly discards a card. Shame that it's randomly, but it does let you proc your card effects that say when your opponent discards a card because it is by your opponent's effect. So, I might play it, I don't know. Next up is Dark Smog. This one's not a Dark World card, but does have Gold Wu Lord of Dark World there, and a Raikou Lightsworn Hunter there. It's a once per turn, target a card in your opponent's graveyard, discard a fiend, and if you do, banish that target. So it's a reusable DD Crow, but it is a trap card, so not as useful as DD Crow. It forces you to discard a fiend, so it does activate your Dark Worlds. You know, it's good, I guess, depending on your thing. I like it in Tier. I mean, I like it against Tier, but, you know, it's still very slow, which is the problem. Then there's Mind Crush. Declare a card name. If that card's in your opponent's hand, they must discard all copies of it, otherwise you discard a random card. So what I like to do with it is activate Drag Down into Grave, get information, set this, next turn, flip it, call a card they have in hand. And this will also combo with the next card, Deck Devastation Virus. Tribute a dart with 2,000 or more attack, look at your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, including set monsters, and all cards they draw until the end of their 3rd turn after this card's activation. they destroy all monsters with 1500 or less attack. This also goes well with Mind Crush because it gives you hand information to Mind Crush away. Then there's Dynamiscus, just great card overall. Target a face-up card on field, discard a card, and if you do, banish the targeted card. Procs all your Dark World, banishes cards from field, so better Dark World Lightning even though it's just a trap. Well, Quick Effect Dark World Lightning's even better. And once per chain, when a trap card is activated while it's in your grave, you can special summon it as a normal monster that's unaffected by monster effects. Low stats, but hey, it's a body for things like link climbing, just blocking attacks, anything. But you banish it when it leaves the field. So that's that. Skill Drain, a much hated card that I don't like. I mean, I like playing it, but I don't like it when my opponent plays it against me. Continuous Trap, activate it by paying 1000 life points. Negate the effect of all face-up monsters while they are face-up on the field. So, yeah, really good. It's not against Tears, but we've got no on-field effects, so that, I mean, we do have on-field effects, but we've got 90% of our decks not on-field effects, so this very much helps in most matchups. Next is Grapha, Dragon Lord of Dark World. Similar summon condition to Rainbow Overking of Dark World. Grapha, Dragon Lord of Dark World lets you special summon it from your grave by returning a Dark World monster you control to their hand. This one can let you return Dark Worlds that are higher than level 5, so it's a bit easier to summon. Of course, you can't do it with itself. And if it's discarded to grave, target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. Then, if it was discarded from your hand to your grave by an opponent's card effect, look at a random card in your opponent's hand, and if it was a monster, you can special summon it to your field. So, the second effect isn't the greatest, but hey, it's more bodies. But all effects on it is good. It's just big stated, big guy that has good effects. Next is Snow, Unlight of Dark World. If it's discarded to grave by a card effect, if it was discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can target a monster in your opponent's grave. Add a Dark World card from your deck to your hand, then special summon that target, if any, in defense position. It's cool, I guess. Not my favourite, but oh well, I love it. It adds a Dark World from deck to hand. I completely missed that first off. So, a lot of good cards in this deck. Now, I'll just grab them all up, then show you some. What was that? I'll get to it later. I'll just grab out my pre-sleeved copy of this. This deck here is just one copy of the structure deck that I have dueled my friends with a couple times, so, but it is just one copy, so all cards in this deck here are one-offs. I'll show you what I can do with a quick example hand and hope it's good. So, start off, I'll be activating Jinta. Discard to grave, grab, grab out Gates of Dark World. I'll be going back into there. Actually, no I won't, I'll need to shuffle the deck first. I'll activate Gates of Dark World. Then I'll activate Gates of Dark World effects, banish this, discard this, draw a card. Then I'm going to activate Jinta, Chainlink 1, Ceruli, Chainlink 2. So this gets summoned onto my opponent's field in defense position. This gets summoned to my field. So don't know if got enough room to pretend it's on my opponent's field. Then that effect activates. I'll discard with that card's effect, this card's effect on my opponent's field, so it's my opponent's card effect. Rainbow will get discarded. And when it's discarded to the grave by card effect, at a level 5 or higher, and if it's my opponent's, special at level 4 or lower Dark World. So I'll be going into my deck, grabbing, what do I want? By the way, these are very simple plays. I haven't played this deck very much, so this is just all off the top of my head. There's definitely better you could do if you've played this deck a bunch. Some good ones with good on-field effects. I'll grab probably like, yeah, I might just grab 0. What's this do? Gee, I'm gonna grab Scar, special Scar. Oh wait, no, I will grab Bron. Where's Bron? I'll just grab Snow. Special Snow, add to my hand. No, not Rainbow. Add to my hand. Where's Dragon? Where's the Dragon? Yeah, Grapher. Add to hand Grapher. Then I'll activate Rainbow, return this to hand, Snow to hand to summon Rainbow. So 5 cards in hand, got a pretty good setup. Don't believe I've even normal summoned yet. I will tribute. I don't like. I'll normal summon Lilith. This is my hand. I'll activate Lilith, getting rid of. I guess I'll pop itself. Grab a random copy of 3 of my normal trap cards, so I've only got 4 normal trap cards in this deck. Dex Dev, Mind Crush, and Dynamiscus. Shuffle them around. Grab one, Dynamiscus, the other 2 somewhere in my deck. Then I will activate Charge into Dark World, target this, special it, then discard a Fiend. Then, because Snow was discarded, I can grab any Dark World card. With that, I'll grab myself a I'll grab Ascension, why not? I will activate Dark World Ascension. I'll summon Grapher using Grapher and the Renjin. No, I like having a guy in hand just in case. And Snow from Grave. Summon this. Then because Grapher was discarded, I can pop Cerulean. Then I will, yeah, that's about it that I'm doing. I'll move to battle. 3, 6, 8. And if that didn't kill him, I would have still had Dynamiscus for follow-up. Next turn, Dynamiscus, discard that, banish a Diamond Field, Grapher, negate regular spell or monster, although I wouldn't have been able to do both just because I'd only have 1 card in hand. If I get both in hand, I'd be able to activate this guy's effect, but, you know, so set that. I'd have Lilith to set another trap if I wanted to. Also, Lilith was supposed to have this set rather than add it to my hand. I am sorry. Yeah. So, got that. I've got a banish or a negate. This ain't the greatest board, but but if you learn how to play and put 3 decks together, I'm sure you could make something great. Alright, this will be me signing off. Hope you have a good time. Bye!